Hello guys, welcome back to GLiiDeR TV. In today's video, I'm going to be doing the spoiler discussion review with my brother on the Chapter 15 episode of The Mandalorian. So, if you haven't seen it, please leave the video because I don't want to spoil it for you guys. And if you have watched it, stick around and see what see your thoughts that you like on this episode, or just like comment whatever scenes that you liked about this episode. All right, well, let's start from the very beginning. So, Cara Dune is, getting the sharpshooter out of, the prison that he's kept at. And it was pretty funny just to like see him there, and then like the other robots just like watching him and stuff, and then him getting that ankle bracelet off him is kind of like a shock to him because he thought he was gonna die by somebody. But cause like after she gets the sharpshooter, she takes him to Boba Fett's ship, and I thought it was so funny how when he saw Boba Fett, he was like, "Oh, you scared me. I thought you were the other guy." And then Mando just comes out in the background, and I thought that was just like very funny. It was a good comedic scene right there because you could tell that he was super scared. Um, but yeah, but I loved that it didn't go far into detail. It was just like a good amount so that we can get started with the episode with like the action sequences and what's going on and the mission and stuff. But still,
That's If I can jump in real quick, that's one thing I've really enjoyed about these past few episodes is that I think starting with the Ahsoka episode, that episode ended with her giving Din the mission of going to that, the planet with that ancient Jedi, the Seeing Stone, I believe it was called.
mhm,
She gives him that mission at the end of the episode, and in the following episode, it immediately starts out with them arriving there. Like
yeah,
these past few episodes, they've picked up essentially right where the previous one left off, instead of
mhm,
kind of sidetracking and
yeah.
having filler episodes, which has been really cool.
Yeah, and these episodes, like just this episode in general, it felt like a quick side quest, but with the way they handled it, makes the like it kind of just brings so much power into the episodes, like because they've been having a consistency through these episodes for this season, and all of them are just like ramping up really well to the finale of next week. And because, well, I'll get into that at the end because I was gonna say something that happened at the end, but yeah. So the next scene is when they get into the planet, and uh, they find the certain mine area of the Imperials, and they want that guy that they saved. What was his name? I forgot. Sharpshooter something.
Uh, Shoot, his I'm not sure what his name was, but he's played by Bill Burr.
Mm, okay,
Bill Burr, the comedian.
we'll just call him Bill. So yeah, and so it was when they were like seeing those tank trucks, 18-wheeler trucks carrying
The
those big
Juggernauts.
yeah, there we go, juggernauts. Carrying those big explosives, and we see Cara Dune and Fennec, and they're planning to see who is gonna want to go down there, but Cara and Fennec can't because they have like a big uh they're like getting hunted, right? Because Fennec said something that she had like a big price on her head.
Yeah, so that's something for me. I'd have to watch it again to really get the details on that because I kind of missed uh, why exactly only Din and Bill could go.
Mm,
But yeah, apparently the Empire has some scanning technology that because she's wanted, she would, I guess, compromise the mission.
mm,
And in that same scene, it was a really cool line from Boba. Uh, Whenever Din asks, or I forget how it comes up, where they ask him if he should go, and he's like, no, let's just say I have a really familiar face,
ah,
implying that most of the Empire was made up of clone troopers, and of course he was a clone.
Yeah.
So that was a pretty cool line.
Yeah, that was funny. And speaking of Boba, his armor looks so clean and fresh, brand new.
Oh yeah.
He has that new Mandalorian symbol on his left shoulder, which I thought was really cool. So now he's part of the freaking Creed. So yay. Um, but yeah, I love seeing Boba Fett in these episodes because he makes it so much fun. Um, and so when Mando and Bill they start going to kind of like I guess hijack the Juggernaut, and cause Mando told Bill like he can't take off his mask, but then when they go hijack the thing, he wears that new armor, and then Kara like looks at him kind of funny because he's walking in a stormtrooper outfit, and we're not used to seeing that. And Bill, when they get in the car, they just or the Juggernaut, they say like, so what's the deal with you Mandalorians? Do you take off your mask and or like do you can you not take it off in front of people or what's the deal? And then he's just like just sitting there just like can you shut up? So, yeah, but
That
whenever
conversation actually led to one of the more memorable
mhm
conversations in this season, where you know Bill Burr, he brings up that helmet thing, like, you know, why can't you take it off? Is it because you can't show your face, or is it he brought up another reason, but
mhm
um, he kind of goes down into this philosophical conversation where, where you grow up learning these ideals and traditions, but in the end, when it comes down to, I guess, desperate measures,
mhm
um, basically everybody becomes equal in those situations where
yeah
they'll do whatever they need to do despite their their upcoming, or um, what they learned, and as they grew up, their ideals,
mhm
which was a really cool conversation to hear play out. And of course, the entire time, Den is very just stoic, not really reacting to it.
yeah
But later on in the episode, you see that, what Bill was telling him really is true,
mhm
um, with regards to the whole helmet tradition.
Yeah, and I love the fact with how they kind of had Din and Bill interact with each other in this episode because you can kind of tell that Din was getting on his good side, I guess, after that conversation. And after that, it was with the scenes of the pirates coming. And I thought it was so funny how when Din was killing all of them, more kept coming and he was just laying back because he's just tired and he gives a big sigh like, oh, or whatever. And then in my mind, I was thinking, come on, Boba Fett has to come and do something. He's gonna like kill everybody right here. And then when do you see those two TIE fighters going shoo 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 shoo? And I thought that was really cool and
Yeah.
unexpected. It was very unexpected, and I'm glad it was something unexpected because I was expecting Boba Fett to come and kill everybody, but he didn't.
Yeah. It's one of the few times that I mean, probably the only time that we find ourselves cheering for the Empire,
Mhm.
coming in and saving them.
Yeah, and
It's really
and
cool.
it was really cool how when they were going into the mine area, you see all the Empire people cheering or saluting and whatnot, and I thought I thought that was cool. For some reason, it reminded me of Halo when Master Chief would come on the in Halo 2 and all the Marines are just clapping or whatever. That's what it reminded me
Yeah.
of. But yeah, I thought that was a really cool scene with the pirate scene and stuff, and the Tie Fighters coming in to save the day.
It's
Um,
kind of that whole saluting scene. It kind of shows, I guess, as far as like the ranks go in the Empire, that the Juggernaut drivers are probably like, higher up the ladder in terms
yeah.
of, um, their position, I guess.
Mhm.
Which is kind of funny because Din and Bill are able to just hijack it like nothing in the beginning.
Yeah, that was funny. Oh, that was with the help of Cara Dune. She's the one who smack them and hit
Right,
their
yeah.
heads and stuff. Um, but yeah, so they get into the mining facility and they're trying to find a certain was it like a little console type of thing so that they can get the tracking of Moff Gideon. And when they go in there, they go in the cafeteria and they see a little room and they find that there's one of those consoles. But Bill doesn't want to go in there because he sees one of the commanding officers that he was under, like working under in the previous, in previous times. And so he was scared that he didn't want to go in there. So Din was the one who had to make the decision that, just, what, give me that. I need to save this kid. I need to go get the tracking of Moff Gideon. And he goes in there and when the thing is scanning his helmet and when it says like identification not verified or something, I don't know, I forgot what it was, but he didn't get identified. And then he just had to take off the helmet, and in my mind I'm just thinking, holy crap, Bill is gonna see his face. And then so after his face gets scanned, he's already getting the tracking and everything. And then the commanding officer notices him and looks very suspicious. And as he's going up to Din, I'm just like, holy crap, like this is probably gonna be a failed mission. And then Bill comes out of nowhere and he's he's just covering for him, and I wasn't expecting that. And I thought that was very nice to see because they had like bad blood with each other in season 1, and coming over here full circle where they're all like just working together, just the both of them. And that was really awesome to see. And yeah, I
The
was not
way
expecting
the
that.
way the conversation he played into to cover for Din was pretty funny too. He kind of made it seem like he was deaf or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, that he couldn't hear anything. What is your name? Oh man. Yeah, I love that they put little comedic areas in the show here and there. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, and then the commanding officer says like we should get a drink or whatever. And in that scene, you can tell that Din is very, just kind of worried something might happen. But then Bill starts to talk to the commanding officer. We should do a cheers for, um, ah, I forgot what that
Well,
battalion.
he asked, what should we cheer make a toast to?
Yeah, there we go.
And he asked Din at first, um, but Din of course doesn't respond to his question.
Yeah.
And then Bill, man, it's bothering me that I don't know this guy's
Yeah,
name.
I know. It's bothering me too.
Um, but yeah, he jumps in and he's like, let's make a toast to Operation Cinder. And this opens up a really intense conversation between him and the uh, the commander or lieutenant,
Mhm.
whatever rank that guy is. Um, and for those of you who don't know what Operation Cinder is, if you haven't heard of that, it's probably because you haven't played the Star Wars Battlefront 2 game. The campaign for that game essentially was the start of Operation Cinder. And what Operation Cinder is, this was an operation that was put in motion as soon as Emperor Palpatine died at the end of Episode 6. So it was a plan that he had set in the event of his death. Um, it would automatically be put into motion, I guess, by his highest ranking officials or whoever.
Mhm.
But what it was is that the Empire would essentially dismantle itself, um, and really only leave like the highest ranking people. I forget the exact reasoning Palpatine did this, but um, I believe it was just so the Empire wouldn't, I guess, kind of go haywire without his leadership.
Yeah.
So Operation Cinder ended up eliminating a lot of the low-ranking Imperial forces, a lot of those planets, and which is uh, part of Bill's history, where he was a part of one of these squadrons that um, I guess just were wiped out by Operation Cinder, and this is why he becomes so emotional whenever the captain and him kind of go back and forth, uh, talking about, was this worth it? A lot of these Imperial soldiers and operatives had families,
Mhm.
um,
Yep.
which is it's such an interesting angle because all of it is from the perspective of Imperials. So you look at them as bad guys just because they were under that banner, but in the end, a lot of the lower ranking ones, they were just maybe in it for the well-being of their families or
Mhm.
the money or whatever, right? Not necessarily all of them are evil, which is what you see in Bill's character. He sees he reacts with a lot of sadness and
Mhm.
remorse um, with the events of Operation Cinder, and it really triggers him whenever the captain kind of starts mocking it. Um,
Yeah,
so yeah,
and you could tell because his emotions were getting really up there because you could see him kind of like his lips were kind of moving a little bit like he
yeah, he
wanted to
started like
cry.
twitching
And
and stuff.
yeah, and I'm just like, wow, Bill's acting right here is just perfect right now. And because during that time, Din looks at him and kind of like shakes his head no, like don't do whatever you're gonna
Yeah.
do. And then, well, Bill shoots the freaking general, and then the one of the stormtroopers in the background with his little tray just stops, and then they shoot
Yeah,
him.
that was so funny. He he
uh,
looked he looked like such an innocent little like schoolboy with his cafeteria tray, just
with
like
little milk and
what just
cookies.
happened?
Oh yeah, and then they just started doing like all the gunfights there and trying to find an escape thing, and then they ended up escaping through one of the windows, which is near one of those waterfalls. Um, and the cool thing that I liked about it is that Fennec and Cara Dune were, sniping the heck out of those stormtroopers that were coming out or the ones that were on the top of the building. And I thought that was just really perfect that they were doing that. Um, it just created a lot of like just like it was setting a great tone for the episode and for the next episode. You know, and then whenever they got up and they tell Boba Fett to come, and Boba Fett is coming, and then once they jump on the ship, Bill tells Mando like, "Hey, hand me that rifle." And then he zooms in and shoots the Juggernaut where it's open because that's where the pirates open the bin and it has the explosives in it. And then he shoots it there and it explodes everything. And I don't know. Like for me, I just felt like it was one of those moments where Bill's character was just like, this is to avenge everybody that that died in the battalion or squadrons
Yeah. To
because
avenge and to protect from future killings, I guess, because
mhm
he knew that they were going to use that explosive material or whatever it was, it's for
yeah
the same operation or
mhm
destruction.
yeah, and that was honestly like a really cool scene, and then Kara and Fennec are just like flabbergasted like, wow, good shot. um but yeah, and then so the one thing that I loved after this scene, it cuts to Moff Gideon, and one of the generals or officers there says, "You have a message," and then
Wait,
it's
hold on. You skipped over the best part.
oh right, I forgot about that. Oh right. Okay, so while Mando and Bill's character are in Boba Fett's ship, um, Boba Fett says, "We've got company," and then he opens that little back part of the ship, and then it's like that little. There we go. Play that. I hope it captures it. Um, there we go. Yeah, move it more to the left. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so this is the scene that I really liked a lot because once I saw that right there, I'm just like, oh frick, this is episode 2 of Attack of the Clones, and the sound.
Yeah, the way
Oh
the sound cuts
man,
out, and then the sound of the explosion itself is like wow.
that was like that scene itself is so beautiful. Like, because the last time he used that was when Kenobi was trying to follow them, and he was using so many of those bombs. Well, Django was, and yeah, and so now to this scene that I got to too early. But the one thing that the one thing that I loved about this scene is that he says the exact same words as Moff Gideon in the end of the first season. Like, you have something that I want, and it means like it means more to me than you will ever know. And when Din pulled that off, you can tell that Moff is kind of getting like frightened, like, or just like in shock that that he already tracked them down. And so now, like, with that scene itself, once I saw that, I was just, kind of like putting my fist in my hand and just thinking next week's episode is gonna go down because the way Din is, you can tell he's mad. He's ready for revenge to get Moff back and get his little child Grogu, a little baby in his arms. So yes, that scene was perfect. It was amazing. What did you think of that scene when you saw Din speaking what Moff said?
Whenever whenever he first started speaking, he was kind of speaking with this like semi-sarcastic, like
Yeah.
kind of dramatic tone, right?
Mhm.
So I was like, oh, this is a little cheesy, but yeah, as you know, the dialogue continues, then I realized, this is exactly what Moff said at the end of season 1. So I was
Mhm.
like, okay, it's not he's actually, mocking him, and it's not as cheesy as it sounds. Um,
Oh yeah.
yeah, I liked it. It was a really good scene. Sets the tone, like you said. Moff Gideon. I wouldn't say he looked like super scared or anything, but he was
But
definitely surprised that he was like able to hack his ship and like
mhm. Well,
broadcast himself to it.
not like scared, but I guess more on a concerned level. Like,
Right.
he just had a very concerned look. But
Yeah.
yeah,
But I mean, how
overall it
how
was amazing.
concerned can you be when you have like 20 dark troopers? So,
that's
well,
when Ahsoka comes in. Um, don't have the Funko Pop, but I do have the shirt. Um, but that's when Ahsoka comes in. I really hope they bring back the Marshal from Tatooine. Um, the I know he's gonna call the other Mandalorians. I know he's gonna call Bo-Katan. But I just wonder how long the episode will be because if he is going to get everybody together, they're gonna have to do something really quick, like what they did with this episode, like immediately starting getting that person and leaving.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
unless they do that hologram contacting thing, like, and then meet up in one place and then go. You know, um, so yeah, I wonder how that's gonna work out. But I do know this next episode is gonna have a giant cliffhanger because we know there's a season 3 and a season 4.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's possible that they could give us a satisfying ending with just like some open questions, but
mhm.
yeah, I think it's more likely that we'll probably see a pretty big cliffhanger. Who knows? Like maybe he fails to retrieve the child, and something major happens, and it sets the stage for season 3.
Yeah.
But we'll see. And I definitely think Bo Katan will be there. At first, I
Mhm.
wasn't too sure, but then I remembered that she has a stake in the fight just because she wants the dark saber.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
Ahsoka, I don't know. That's up in the air. She could be out for a later time, season 3 or something. But
Yeah,
We'll
cause
see.
they did say that she's currently training right now for season 3, like lightsaber battles. So that's what I heard. But they okay. The reason why I think Ahsoka is gonna be in this video, or sorry, in the next episode, is because Giancarlo, he said in an interview that there is gonna be a bunch of lightsaber action in this season. So I
Hmm.
feel like she could be in this last episode. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah,
Yeah, and I
but
mean she's definitely I wouldn't say attached, but she cares for the child too,
mhm,
being one of the only remaining force sensitives that she's found.
yeah.
So she might tag along to make sure that they get him back.
Especially since he reminds her a lot of Yoda.
Yeah.
Of course. So, but yeah, but I do feel like a cliffhanger would be more on Grogu because maybe at the end, because he called the doctor, he told contact the doctor and tell him that we have the child or whatever. So I feel like at the end of the episode, maybe we're not gonna get Grogu back. Maybe the doctor is gonna end up taking him somewhere else to continue doing those lab things or whatever that we saw in previous episodes on like episode 5 or something. But yeah,
What
that.
if what if everything ends up being like a decoy? Like they fight for the entire episode only to find out that he's not even at the location they thought he was.
Oh, that would that's heartbreaking. Oh man. I don't know. I guess we'll see in the
It's
next
possible. I mean,
episode.
it it's possible because by like this scene here, he's kind of warning Gideon that he's coming for him. So
Yeah.
Gideon essentially has time to prepare, think of a plan.
Mhm.
Um, so not too smart to do this.
Well,
I think a surprise attack would have probably been better.
cuz I feel like you're right because in the end of episode 8, Moff Gideon was already two steps ahead of Mando. So
Yeah,
your theory could be correct, a decoy, but who knows? Or maybe in the beginning of the episode, Moff Gideon will already take him somewhere else with the doctor, or the doctor will take him because they already have him in handcuffs and whatnot.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited. What would you rate this episode as the final verdicts? Now that we're at the end of the video.
So, man, I know a lot of people, myself included, really loved the previous episode, with the Seeing Stone and
Yeah.
uh, the Dark Troopers coming to take Baby Yoda. But honestly, I think this one was uh, much better directed.
Mhm.
I know in the previous episode there were some times where I kind of was taken out of the action because of just some like I don't know, like the action was a little wanky, like the blasters, the way they shot, and I think the lighting of the location where they filmed,
Mhm.
um, for whatever reason, it just felt like a smaller budget than this one. This one, even though like the Juggernaut scene and all that, was most likely using the volume, I think they call it,
Mhm.
the giant arena with the
Yeah,
screens.
that screen. Yeah.
It most likely used that, but I mean, it felt much more higher, like top tier budget.
Mhm.
I was never taken out of the action during the Juggernaut scene.
Yep.
Um, the dialogue between Bill Burr's character and Din was interesting. I know Bill did most of the talking, but still
Mhm.
he brought up some interesting things to think about. And the Operation Cinder thing. This episode just had so much. It expanded on the lore a little bit, with Bill's character.
Mhm.
It had some good dialogue, comedic moments,
Yep.
awesome action. How I know in the previous episode the Boba scenes, him fighting was really awesome. But for me, this one I think takes the cake between those two episodes. I'd probably rate this one a solid 10.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I agree because that's my same score too, a 10 for this episode. Because they gave us so much. They gave us a story. They gave us a backstory to Bill's character, and we got to see like a good side of Bill and not just like a mean will betray you type of dude. But
Yeah.
we saw everything. We
And I mean, we got to see Din's face again,
Yeah.
which is really rare, right? I mean,
Mhm.
and it was for a legit, like, dire reason. So like he
Mhm.
had to do this, or else he was gonna get, his mission was gonna get compromised.
Yeah.
Um, which is anytime we see this guy's face, it feels like it's gonna be a significant moment,
Mhm.
unless of course some in a later episode season or whatever, he kind of drops that tradition, but I don't see that happening.
I mean, who knows? Maybe after doing that with Bill, cause Bill's character like he gave him back the helmet of a stormtrooper without even looking. Like, here, I gave you the helmet. I didn't look. I haven't seen your face. Put it on. Whatever.
Yeah.
So his
He respected it. He
yeah.
respected his tradition, but at the
Mhm.
same time, he planted that seed of like, maybe these traditions are just kind of hokey, and in the end, all that matters is, the mission, what we live
Yep.
for.
Mhm. Yeah, so maybe in the next season we'll probably see his face more. Um, but who knows?
I mean, in combat, definitely put it on. You got Beskar all over you, so
Yeah. Oh, and he has that Beskar spear, so we're probably gonna see him fight with Moff Gideon, maybe with the
true.
Beskar spear.
Yeah. Yep, that
So
opens him up to lightsaber battles.
yeah, that's true. Or hopefully Din with Ahsoka battling Moff Gideon together. That'll be awesome.
Yeah.
But all right. Well, that is the end of the video, guys. If you stayed throughout this whole video, you're a trooper. So, thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for more episodes coming soon. And I will see you guys next time. So, deuces.
Bye, guys.